Alright, everybody. It's going to be Hurricane versus Impact first, as this was the semifinal that was actually ready to go. The other semifinal is going to be Joxy versus the winner of Zest versus Patience. Pretty cool PvP going on there, but first up
and
is
a potentially
this.
awesome TVP coming up. But first of all, we got a PvZ right here. To the top left of Belgian Vestige, we have Hurricane, who, as Zombie Grub mentioned, looked pretty good yesterday.
In the bottom right is the Blue Zerg. He is Impact. Looking pretty good versus Terran. Looking okay. Good versus Drogo. What's it going to be like versus Hurricane, the Lima League winner of this week?
Yeah. The series against Drogo was a little bit cheesy.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
We'll see if that happens again here in Belgian Vestige. It's kind of hard to tell here. Looking like it's going for that 17 hatch or 16 hatch. Huh.
Yeah.
Agreed. So, pretty regular opening here for Impact. Hurricane as well, regular opening, opting up to wall down at the low ground, not going up in the main.
Huh.
It's all regular, man.
All regular. I mean, Impact starts the day off with a bit of a bang with that really, really cheesy Roach Rush versus Drogo. Alright, that happens. And you know, he did play Peculiar Styles versus Alive as well. Nidus in a late game, Nidus in an early game. Impact just has cards up his sleeve, I suppose. But he might be looking for a more standard game versus Hurricane. Hurricane looks very, very good, and Impact might be a little bit less inclined for shenanigans. I mean, Alive looked really good too, but I feel like Impact has such confidence in ZVT where I can't say the same for ZVP yet, unless he 2-0s Hurricane, and then I'm like, okay, Impact just looks like super good.
So in the slight amount of downtime here after you finish your point, I have to give a shout out to my man, Jared Pig Krensel, for a 12-month resub to BaseTradeTV.
He gets a Partoof. Partoof time.
That's a Partoof for you, man. I'm working on my Partoof. I'm not quite there yet. I think I'm on 10 months, question mark? I don't know. All I know is I'm subbed to you longer than BaseTradeTV. I feel like that's a mistake, though. I feel like I've been subbed to BaseTradeTV longer than that. I must have missed a month or something. Maybe I've missed a sub or something. 1 month.
I feel like that's not what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, no, that's completely backwards. My bad.
I don't give the sick replays. I guess I could.
No.
You know, my own games are so awesome that I don't know, man.
I did enjoy that TVP you played on Brood War, though.
Yeah, I'm like so like we talked about Brood War earlier, right? We watched these openers unfold, I suppose, but I always had a problem in IC Cup. You know, facing much better players than me, so I never had really awesome back and forth games. I have the opposite problem with the PTR. I face a lot of people who are worse than me in Brood War, which is understandable because it just is such a hard game to get into and a lot of these guys are new. But when I finally find that sweet spot, you know, actually someone equal skill level, it's quite an amazing game. Oh
yes, it's really nothing like it. I feel like StarCraft 1 or 2, when you're evenly matched to your opponent and you just have an incredible back and forth, is really like the pinnacle of competitive play.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything like it. Maybe like a really close match in a fighting game or something like that. But I feel like those kind of games go too quickly. This one really lets you, you know, savor it.
Yeah, I do agree with that as someone who... I do like watching fighting games, but I agree that seems to be the weakest point.
Yeah, they're very explosive and very hype, but also very over very quickly. But StarCraft, that can linger. And it's not like it's stopped. It's not like it's only 10 minutes of action. It's like hours of action if it's a really close series.
Yeah, or if it's Swarm hosts. Hey! Those days.
I don't miss them. I don't miss them.
I guess not. Sometimes you see them nowadays. They're actually kind of cool, though. You know.
I actually think they're really good right now. I think people underutilize them. But that aside, we have Resident Glaze on the way here for Hurricane. Impact getting the Baneling Nest and Lair back at home. So it's looking like he wants to do ye old Lingbane Hydra. And droning up that third as well as Hurricane's just about to take his.
Yep. Deflects the Lings. Not much we said there. Overlord barely survives. He said Resident Glaves and now Warp Prism on the way as well. And it is this typical ZVP. We have been seeing a lot more Hydralisk play, of course, with their recent buff. It was to be expected. Took a little while. It was a bit of like a lag effect when it came to people abusing Hydras, always going for Hydralisk, but it's kind of hit that point for a lot of Zergs, where they will open up Banelings, as that is still a very good opener, but then transition. They have a Ling Flood preparing for the Adept attack that is always to be expected from a Protoss player.
Yeah, it looks like Hurricane going for the crusty old Archon drop as well. Prism and Dark Shrine on the way.
Oh, you're right. Bit of a twist, of course. This is not a 2-base version, so it could be that much of a surprise, but it won't have the potential of catching them without an Overseer. The layer is done.
Ooh. Looks like these will, a few of them at least, will shade away, and a few of them do go down to, you know, back to the Kala or wherever they go. Looks like Bane Reigns in the natural there. Good reaction from Hurricane. Hasn't lost too much.
Oh, why would you pull the probes back?
Why, oh, why? He loses 4 probes there. Shrine 3/4 of the way done. And this actually reminds me, it was on this very map, Pig, the guy that just subbed for 12 months in a row, got himself a part 2. I was watching his stream earlier this morning. I hosted him after my stream. And he actually played against a Protoss that did exactly this on exactly this map, in exactly these spawn positions. He went for a later Archon drop, and it really caught him with his pants down, because he's like, this is 30 seconds later than it's supposed to be. So,
yeah.
He's like, and he wasn't expecting, he's like, oh, this is something else. And then, nope, there they are.
We've been seeing variations from Protoss players with the Dark Shrine in multiple ways, of course. We're seeing a lot more Protosses go for double Warp Prism with the Dark Shrine on 2 bases, which has been really cool to watch. We've been seeing players go for a Resident Adept all-in with a very quick follow-up of DTs, almost as if that's the real power of the all-in. And what we're seeing right now from Hurricane, which is to say not really still an Archon drop, but the presence of DTs everywhere, main, natural, and third. And there's not an Overseer, there's no Spore Crawler either.
That's right, Spore's just getting made now. I mean, obviously, Impact is aware of it, but a little bit too little too late. The DT-1 gets surrounded there. Baneling's coming in. They can manually detonate on that DT, but they decide not to. DT gets pulled up by the Prism, lifts off and takes away there.
Not bad. Not bad damage, you know, especially since he saved 1 DT so far. Lost 1. This one looks like it's going to live as well. Just scurries on out. I'd rather come back later when maybe Impact is being aggressive or just simply distracted. Looks like there's an Overlord drop, I believe. That's where the Footstep Churches were popped.
Yeah, looks like it. More gateways in charge on the way here with Immortal as well. I like it.
Oh, there we go. Double Warp Prism. That's the way to do it.
Oh, this is some root hero stuff going on right now. Double Prism harassment. If you have the APM and you can control this, it's incredible. But that's the thing. You need to have the APM and the multitask to be able to do it. It's tough.
Yeah. And I do like the way that Protoss is expanding their horizons, I guess, in PvZ. DT adds a lot of punch. Don't ever forget about that. If they're not being focus fired, they will kill queens quite quickly. Looks like Impact's doing a very good job so far, though, of defending both areas. I mean, Suri took the damage a little bit earlier, but even that, you know, not that much. And now with the Spire on the way, this will be perfect in dealing with the double Warp Prism harassment.
Temple Archives on the way here. We're going to have Charge Lot Archon again. Starting to get turned on a little bit by Hurricane here. I love this unit comp.
Drops on drops on drops, man.
Yeah, it just drops all over the place. Bane Rain, really the flavor of the day here in these Zerg matches.
Really picks that up. Third base is being defended. Actually, these are in patrol between the third and the fourth.
I like it. They're going to get him.
Nicely done. There's the drop in the main. Or there might have been, but the drop of the third base is what I'm paying attention to. Yeah, roly-poly. Barely. Wow, the clutch force field saves about 5 probes.
Guys, Zombie Grub really is one of the best commentators in the whole world. She play-by-played that by saying, roly-poly.
I love roly-poly, man. It's a great song. It's a great description of Banelings. It's better than Trundling, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, Trundling? What?
Exactly, exactly.
Who says that?
Scarlet.
Yeah, the muta's out now. It's gonna get rid of this Prism.
Yeah, one muta apiece. If there's one stalker here, man.
Yeah, so 1 muta per Prism. A DPS though. So we have, the army here of Impact moving down to try and secure that 4th Nexus. It's a pretty, it's a bit of a bastion out here. It's quite far away from where the Protoss is. And a little bit tough to defend, but he's going to hold that high ground, take that watchtower, and see that there is so much Zerg. You can just look at the minimap right now. Impact has the entire bottom half of the map with Zerg units patrolling all up at the place.
Yeah, he really is. Maybe thinking about going to the natural and then changing his mind, which is why he's changed all the way over to the 4th base. The mutas are what's going to go into the main base of the natural. This absolutely destroyed Drogo earlier. It doesn't usually happen like that, but if it is a surprise, it can get an entire mineral line. Cannons are finishing up, though.
DPS down a cannon. Yeah, one cannon goes down to
recall.
the mutas, and one nearly dies. 3 probes going down to the splash damage of those glaives.
I really like seeing Prodosses who remember that recall isn't just for like massive army engagements, but also just, you know, if it's a full energy mothership core, it's still worth to send her back home, and that's exactly what he did. So Muta's not doing anything, but they did push back the War Prism harassment, which in itself is already kind of worth it. Could kill this one as well. But I feel like Hurricane might be getting the better army soon enough. Impact kind of stuck on Ling Baneling Roach Ravager, which needs to get a good opportunity of a surround. And
yeah, and there's a lot of Archons and Immortals here, and they are ready for Banelings. And also tons of Sentry energy, I just noticed that as well. Oop, Hurricane's actually in a spot where he could force... If Force Field's go pretty good for Hurricane, he could absolutely hold this fight. Blink's coming back on these Stalkers. Link's coming in from the back door, and the Muta's coming in to join. The Archons are starting to get a little bit low.
There's no War Prism here, so he's got to reinforce in that 4th base. Here come a bunch of charge lots as all the Banelings are gone, but the Muta's barely taking out the rest of the anti-air, so everything else would eventually be cleaned up, but there's so many charge lots, so many Immortals as well. Are these charge lots? Yeah, they are. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, charged on a while back there, and they actually... I feel like I would definitely want that hatchery kill and then pull back. But Blink Stalker's coming in to get those Mutas. Nice play there from Hurricane. Good decision from him to pull back there. And this Archon, sorry, not Archon, this Immortal taking a bit of damage from the roof does pop its charge, but the Mutas are going down. And Hurricane has the Mothership Core here just in case things get hairy. She can recall or Time Warp as well.
Oh, the splits. Oh, he's going to be a Terran right here. Oh, look at that. Sweet Marine
Yeah,
split.
Hurricane apparently has a Terran alternate account.
Yeah, he had Blink, I was pretty sure. I thought he was going to use it instead of split.
It might have been off cooldown, I'm not too sure. That hatchery is so low. Just a couple pokes from those Stalkers and that will go down.
Yeah.
And by a couple, I mean like 12.
Huh. Rare to see Time Warps work. Much more rare to see them being used twice in a row.
Yeah. I wouldn't say those Time Warps worked, but they are there. They certainly were Time Warps. We have a Blink forward here to pick up a couple Banelings. Nice move there from Hurricane. And Impact's army is not looking incredibly crash hot right now. That's a nice run by, though.
Nicely done with the warp in. Barely in time. Those probes actually give him advance notice.
Yeah, the hole has been breached, though. Oh, these Lings don't want to engage those Zealots. They're going to go down on the right, but a few Lings did get in. Some probe kills going down, but not too much. So it's actually a relatively decent hold here for Hurricane, all things considered. 26 more Lings on the way for Impact. And he's going to try and get an Ultralis Cavern out because he knows the Immortal count has been taken out. So this transition could work out all right.
I just realized Impact never got Carapace, so his Lings are being two-shotted.
Oh, yeah, true. Wow.
Yeah, I think
he's got he's nearly got +3 attack and nearly has Adrenal, but yeah, just started +1 Carapace. Oh, these Ultras are going to be pretty squishy as well, actually.
Yeah, that is a good. That's probably why he started it, realizing he wanted to get the Ultras, but it might be a little bit too late. This is a very good anti-Ling army. The Banelings crashing the Archons, that wouldn't be ideal either. They do find the Zealots. They're backtrack
yeah,
a little
they
bit
sure
for
do.
it.
Splits again from Hurricane, loses a bit there. This Archon on the right trying to hold against all these Lings. It's like the Legacy of the Void cinematic didn't quite work out, and Hurricane just with too much in the end. GG. Look at game number 1. That was a cool game, actually. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was. ZVP sometimes can look quite stale. Like, honestly, maybe there's a little bit of harassment in the early game, and then it kind of just waits for the Protoss to get to a good army, and then they move out, and then that's the gist of it. But we had drops, on Baneling drops, on... I think there was 4 Warp Prisms total made that game. And, a lot of action back and forth. So now it's going to be Impact's map choice.
It sure will be. Wonder what it'll be. You don't see Honor Grounds too much. Actually, is that even in the map pool?
It is, yeah. This is all the maps. So.
Yeah, I mean, you might want Proxima, Cactus Valley, something decent for Zerg.
Chooses Honor Grounds. I mean, Honor Grounds, it's a tricky map because people just assume it's never going to be picked, and for the most part, it's second to last, right, with Paladino being last. But it's really not that bad of a map. Like, it's kind of small. It's 4-player, which Prorosses don't like. So Impact might be looking for an early cheese here. But it does, of course, have that in-base expansion and pretty easy third base.
It is my second most disliked map as well. But it's I actually have a strangely high win rate on it, and I think it's because I played a lot of Zerg games on it, and I got cross spawns. And I mean, if Impact gets cross spawns, yeah, should be pretty happy about that.
It's true. I'd like to remind you all that the match Reno is still ongoing, and I do believe there are still codes to use BTSL2, so go there. It costs nothing to do it, and if you feel so inclined to do so, to give these potential, or well, actually, we know the top 4 players who are going to be paid out. If you like any of them, give them extra cash. You can actually donate even more, but certainly use those codes. Exclamation point match Reno in chat, and we're ready to go.
I just put in my $1 if you want to be cool like me.
Everyone wants to be cool like you, Maynard.
Well, this is your chance, guys. You're going to go to the Matcherino link that's been put in chat by darers, by a bunch of people. BTSL2. It's your ticket to being cool like Maynard.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well.
Alrighty.
I like prep for this one, man. I'm like feeling the early pool, you know, but maybe it's too obvious.
That's how you really meta this giant map.
Yeah, something like that. Well, not the earliest pool at the very least. In the bottom right, as the teal Zerg, he is Impact.
Yes, and in the bottom left, winning game number 1. This is Hurricane. Let's talk about these spawns a little bit. They're not as good as the Zerg would like. It's pretty close by air. I mean, yeah, it's sort of rotational, right? So like your back natural for the Protoss ends up being close to the Zerg, but the back natural of the Zerg ends up being further away from the Protoss.
Yeah, I would say this is... I mean, it's not favorable in that it's not like the maximum amount of distance between you and your opponent. But in terms of the natural base, this is a little bit better because you don't have to worry about the War Prism just going right into that natural, which is... A War Prism is something that you could almost always predict if you really wanted to just take guesses. You'd probably be more right than not. War Prism goes with, like, you know, Robo openers. Sometimes even the Adept all ends get a Robo. Of course, the Dark Shrine openers as well get 2 Immortals, or 2 War Prisms rather, so it's a pretty good guess. But, you know, there's multiple ways to play Zerg, and you don't have to be the one that's waiting to be attacked. It's kind of what happened last game. Impact had those cute little Overlord drops, but he really was pretty defensive on his side of the map for the most part. You can be aggressive. Group spread, you know, goes out to the middle of the map pretty quickly when you take this base and get a Roach Ravager rush going. It can work.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you know, as much as the naysayers and the salty Sallys and Neggy Nancys out there will say that there aren't other viable compositions, it's completely incorrect. There's a lot of really cool things that you can do that are very, very viable at all levels of the game, provided you can control it and do it well. You will get more GG and more skill.
Exactly. Hurricane probably feeling a little bit scared right now, as he is going to realize he scouted last. But if there was an early pool, I think it would have been, I think Lings would have been attacking him by now, so. Still
I feel like the Lings would be coming up the ramp right now. They'd be pretty early. But, you know, there's the 2 Lings coming up here for Impact. I'm going to have a look-see. Wall not going to quite finish. Well, I mean, and the Adept not in there to plug it either.
Yep, they just got it in there. Impact takes a 3rd base. This is something that Hurricane might just be able to see with the Queen kind of like taking her time getting down here. Might not get those shots off on the probe, and that'd be nice. Or the probe will just give up and go home. Okay, you do probe. You want to survive, you go ahead and survive. Ling's also in the mid base.
Oh.
So close.
Saving that hello hit point probe there. Hurricane's like, don't, please. Not on stream, not like this. It does lose 1 probe to these 2 Lings there, that does sting.
Just annoying to deal with, of course. If it messes up the build even the tiniest bit, so worth for impacts and the Lings in. The probe, I really don't know what his plan was, but I think now it's going to be too late to get to that 3rd base. And again, just worrying stuff at Hurricane. Speaking of worrying stuff, I suppose. Resident Glaives on the way.
Yeah, it's a pretty quick Resonating Glaze. So this is another viable option for Protoss here. We just get 2 bases, make a lot of gateways, get a lot of Adepts out. Robo on the way as well. It looks like Impact's actually come in here and have a look and see this all go down though.
Yeah, I feel like if Hurricane was going to add on a lot more gateways, he would have invested into a Stalker. Because it would be around now that we'd see a lot of gateways go down. Probes maybe cut a little bit every now and then. But it's Yeah, without a Stalker, it's going to be so obvious. I don't think it's going to be worth doing. Depths do get to the main base.
Yeah, they sure do. One of them's going to go down for sure. Looks like both will.
Got him.
Got him. Got her, I guess.
Kills. Some of those were Lings, I guess, but still nice.
Yeah, Roach Warren and Leia halfway. Well, Roach Warren about to finish, and Leia halfway done here for impact. There's that Prism on the way, and there's some extra gateways. So a little bit of harass coming down here. It certainly looks like it, and a Robotics Bay going down for Hurricane at the back.
Very cool.
Nice and far away from Overlord scouting.
Yep.
Oh, I want this to be Disruptors.
I think it might just be, which is going to be really cool. The Stalker pops out and is going to be able to kill this Overlord, so that is going to deny scouting at the Robotics Bay. Impact might be a little scared, but I really do think he knows it's not going to be the Adept all-in. The question is, what is behind the Resident Glaives, though? That seems to be always the question. Is it more gateways? Is it transfer over into DTs? Is it a fast third base? And it is a quick third base. The thing that is missing so far from Impact's knowledge is the Robotics Bay.
Yeah, so gonna get up into Tier 3 Robotics production here. Nice little Ling run by here from Impact. There's not too much DPS on the ground for Hurricane. He's looking for a probe transfer. Gonna get at least one if he comes in now. So that Prism of Hurricane is starting to head towards that main here of Impact, but Impact has Queens in position to bat it away.
Mm-hmm. It's not scary yet anyways. It's only 2 Adepts, not even 4, and of course really waiting for that Disruptor and Gravitic Drive to finish up. So Warp Prism...
Oh, hell yeah.
Warp Prism speed is always cool to witness, and combined with that range pickup, I know some people are going to cry Imba, but it's actually created much more interesting games than not, in my opinion.
Yeah, Protoss units are heavy in supply and very expensive, and it gives them a little bit more survivability, for sure. We have the Prism getting shooed away by these Queens. Nice creep spread here for Impact, actually. Taking a lot of the middle here. Heading towards his 4th factory location. And Gravitic Drive about to finish. Disruptors are out. Did they get scouted? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I'm surprised he popped an overcharge for that. That seems so unnecessary. And even, borderline, not just unnecessary, but really... silly of him. He did not expect roaches to already be in his face, but Disruptor shot! Oh my god. Impact not expecting Disruptors just made a huge mistake.
This is like that Arrested Development meme. That's what I feel like right now for Impact, poor guy. But yeah, I mean, mistakes on both sides, but that Disruptor hit was juicy. Still many of Roaches left, though, for Impact, and he is battering on his front door. The 3rd Nexus is in big trouble. Those Disruptor Purification Novas are off cooldown, or are on cooldown. They're just about to come off. And that's a big pickoff. Just getting that 3rd Nexus is really great for the Zerg. All these Disruptors are looking for the army, though. Get him!
Oh boy!
That's almost worth it, getting that many units.
Yeah,
losing that Nexus.
I'm not sure to call this game. These Disruptors are getting such fantastic shots that if they continue doing so, then maybe Hurricane's just got it with this counter. But even if he doesn't win with this, he might still be able to expand and continue taking good trades.
This is getting me excited for my Protoss stream, Mario.
Yeah.
I want to make Disruptors. We have a bunch of Adepts getting shaded in here. Hurricane smelling blood in the water, and he thinks he can engage this. Might be biting off a little bit more than he can chew here. There's lots of Queens, and the Roaches coming in here. Another Purification coming to come down, but nice splits here via Impact this time. Prosopiles connecting with the Protoss army. Then Immortal doing a lot of work here for Hurricane. A second one coming in to help. The Prism's still alive, reinforces this, and Hurricane now pressing the issue.
Wow. Impact did respond correctly with these Spine Crawlers. He's already almost out of army, but it might not be enough. The Adepts could always transfer through if they see an opportunity to do so. And the Immortals, well, they're just going to bust down the Spine Crawlers quickly anyways.
Yeah, that's a whiff Nova there for Hurricane. Zerg with a massive concave. Got an Immortal getting low here at the top. Just the last one left here. The drone's being pulled as well. A reinforcement, though. This Prism being so helpful for Impact. The Disruptor still being picked up, being micro here from Impact as well as he can. Keeping those Immortals and the Disruptors, those very, very important robotics units trying to stay alive. Just a nice micro here from Impact, keeping this fight alive here. 15 drones have gone down as well, and it looks like he's going to break the back of Impact here.
Wow, Mothership Core goes down. That pickup on the Disruptor looked almost on purpose, because otherwise he's going to hit a bunch of his own units. Just really cool play. from Hurricane overall, who is committing everything to this. Impact's already losing so many drones, there might have been a chance to expand, but Hurricane says he's got it. He could actually just avoid these spine crawlers at this point in time.
Yeah, another Adept warp in, a bit more macro on those Immortals. Looks like the Disruptor finally went down, but boy, did she pay for herself.
Oh, she lived.
Oh, she's still alive.
Yeah.
That is a saucy minx right there. I'd like to buy that Disruptor a drink.
I'm gonna go for the eggs, otherwise a little too difficult. Ah, barely pick up!
Oh man, that is the MVP unit for this game right here, that Disruptor. She was around since the early game. And she got a lot of work done there for Hurricane.
Oh.
Damn, 2-0 against Impact.
I've seen Protoss try and do that before, the whole Disruptor drop thing, and defend against big Ravager Roach all-ins, and it hasn't worked until just now. The Disruptor shots miss a little bit too much, and there just isn't enough good control, but Hurricane made that look so good.
Yeah, I actually still have a smile on my face from watching those Disruptors. Actually, as much as I love Terran, and it is my favorite race in the game, I think the Disruptor is my favorite unit.
Oh, it's just
if I had to pick one unit of my favorite, I just love the Disruptor. It's as a fan of the game, as a caster of the game, and a player of the game, they're just fun to use. They're fun to watch. They're fun to micro against.
Mm-hmm.
They're fun to cast. Yeah, just a good unit. Thank you, David Kim. Your legacy lives on.
Exactly, Legacy of the Void. It's going to be Patience versus Jockshi next. Patience did take out Zest in the round of 8. So we're going to be getting into Belshear after this quick 2-minute commercial break. Remember to type !Matcherino and donate with the code BTSL2. See you in a few.